Twisters is a double-edged sword, a new, refined, updated version of the first film, but it still lacks a unique identity that can really sell itself. Let me explain.
We got twins! Twins!
Twisters. As Storm's season intensifies, the paths of former Storm chaser Kate Carter and reckless social media superstar Tyler Owens collide when terrifying phenomena never seen before are unleashed. The pair and their competing teams find themselves squarely in the paths of multiple storm systems converging over central Oklahoma in the fight of their lives. So yeah, what I meant before about this movie, about it being a double-edged sword and how it's not unique but still feels refined, to put it bluntly, Twisters really is the exact same movie as the first one. Both films feature a main protagonist who has past trauma with Twisters, and that really motivates them to chase storms and as well as experimenting with new hardware that could potentially save lives. And they have to test this equipment through trial and error as the stakes get higher as the Twisters become more deadly. But in all fairness to this film, I think Twisters is very much an improvement in many regards. Firstly, I really dug the direction and the cinematography. I think this filmmaker really knew where to put the camera in this movie, especially during the chaos as we're seeing these Twisters just tear up these cities. I also really did appreciate seeing more of the aftermath though. Getting these big wide shots of like teared up fields or towns and really seeing the destruction, the people wandering around trying to claim what little they can of their lost past lives. I thought that was really effective visually compared to the first film. I think the first film really was lacking in that regard visually. And on a related note, I did appreciate this film really showing the fatalities of these storms. I mean, there's a lot of people that get wrecked in this film who get pulled away or hit by debris. It's pretty brutal. But as a result, I think it really does enhance the danger and the stakes of this film compared to the first one. Whereas I feel like for the most part in the first Twister movie, it's really more like a lighthearted, almost comedy movie about a couple trying to reconnect, and it doesn't really get serious until the climax of the film. Whereas in this film, while humorous and still has feel-good moments, there is a sense of danger and high stakes throughout the film. To make no mistake. I also really like Daisy Edgar Jones. I thought she was a standout in the cast in this film. I think she really convincingly plays a character who has trauma and she's trying to overcome it. And she goes through a really engaging arc, and I think that character arc is definitely complemented by her performance. Having said that, the rest of the cast is kind of mid. Glenn Powell just plays the same character from Top Gun Maverick, and it's fun, it's okay, it doesn't really do anything for me. It's not really memorable. It's a shame because I do think Glenn Powell is a very talented actor. And overall, I do think it's like one thing that the first Twister has over this movie. The first Twister with Bill Paxton, that whole cast, if they felt very convincingly a blue collar, for lack of a better term. They felt like real people down on earth who really do get their hands dirty, chasing these storms and doing the research. In this film, a lot of the characters and the actors who portray them, they look like models, they're very glitzy, very Hollywood, and then the other actors, they just feel like characters. I mean, the first film was already considered very Hollywood, but I think this one more so with its cast, and it just felt less immersive, less memorable and stark. And yeah, I mean, overall, I was disappointed how derivative this film is, even though it is very strong in the visual department. Especially because Twisters does introduce like these new interesting concepts within the story that could have made this film more unique and make it feel more fresh with its narrative and characters. But these concepts that are introduced, including like this subplot about this greedy corporation that buys up this land from people who have had their homes destroyed so you could buy them cheap. That was an interesting angle in the story, but it's really quickly only brought up to like introduce temporary tension between certain characters, and then it's just dropped immediately right away. I wish stuff like that, Twisters could have committed more to really give us a different story with a different set of circumstances. but they don't. So as a result, it really does feel like the same movie as the first one. But having said all that, and while the film is definitely derivative, it's still a fun movie. It's still really well directed in many respects. And as a result, I will give this film 3.5 stars out of 5. It's not a movie I'm dying to see again or buy on Blu-ray, but I'm glad to have watched it. I have fun. I do think it's worth checking it out if you're down.
Holy.
You ever see anything like this?
Not like this.
Hold on, hold on, hold on!
Thanks for watching, guys. Let me know if you plan on catching Twisters this weekend. Have you seen the first Wood film? The like button, hit subscribe. I'll see you next time.